Hey everyone, it's Jason and this is your cruise news update. And are we seeing a major shift in the cruise industry where prices could fall? We have a cruise passenger that was so upset they missed a port, they demanded the captain take them back to Florida. And imagine you're 2 days out from your cruise and you receive an email from the cruise line that your cabin's been downgraded. So cruise story number one, and imagine you're 2 days out from your cruise. You're super excited, maybe doing some last minute preparations, and you receive an email from the cruise line and it says, hey, we just want to let you know we have found you a cabin that will better suit your needs. And you think, oh, well great, I just got an upgrade. Only to continue to read on and you received a downgrade in your cabins. So this happened to a Princess passenger. They said they were 2 days out from their cruise and they received this email and it said, this is the perfect cabin for 2 people. They said, only problem is they have 3 people and they like booking a Lido deck forward facing balcony. It works for them. They said they've done it many times. They have 3 other cruises booked in these same kind of cabins. So their travel agent calls up. So what's going on? Well, we needed that cabin because we had 4 people that needed it. So this passenger booked this a year in advance. They took the time, they prepared, they scouted out the right cabin, only to be bumped out. Now, it's not 2 people for 4 people. That happens sometimes. But it's 3 for 4. That's just bad business, in my opinion. They said they tried to get some compensation. The travel agent called twice, talking to many different people. They won't budge. They basically said, if you don't like it, have them cancel. Wow. Wow. That's the way you're treating your customers, Princess. That's bad business. Now, Holland America has a reputation to do this. I have a Holland America cruise booked, and I told my travel agent, make sure not to book us in a cabin with 3 or 4 because they can just bump you out. And I've planned this 2 years in advance. Can you imagine that? All this planning. So sorry, we need your cabin. To me, that is just unacceptable. And not go, hey, we're really sorry. We know you planned this out. Let us throw something in for you. $250 shipboard credit. Anything. Nope, sorry. What would you do with this? And have you ever experienced this? Let me know in the comments. So cruise story number 2, have you ever missed a port due to the weather? And I think if you've cruised long enough, the answer to this is always going to be yes. So a passenger is furious at Carnival as they were on the Carnival Glory, a 4-day cruise, and they missed both of their ports. The second which was Princess K in the Bahamas. Now, if you're not aware of Princess K, it often gets missed by Princess ships and Carnival ships because there is no pier. And it's right out in the elements. There is no bay to protect it. And I looked at the National Weather Service, and they were predicting 15 to 20 foot seas in the Bahamas at the time. Can you imagine taking a tender into port in 15 to 20 foot seas? I can't even imagine 10 foot seas. Everyone would have been sick, and then they would have been blaming Carnival for that. So the captain made a judgment call. Said this is not going to work. And this passenger lost their mind. They started posting all over social media, demanding that the captain take them back to Florida immediately, as they didn't want to be on that miserable cruise anymore. And they said they were going to come after Carnival because other cruise lines docked in the Bahamas, such as Disney. And that is a clear indication that the captain wasn't competent, couldn't do his job. Come to find out that it's inaccurate. The Disney ship actually missed their stop in the Bahamas. Folks, if you're going to cruise, understand you could miss ports. Also understand, November through early March, we get cold fronts that come through Florida. That kicks up the wind, kicks up the seas. A lot of people miss more stops in the Bahamas and the Caribbean during that time of year than hurricane season. What do you guys think about this? And have you ever missed a port, maybe a can't miss port, because of the weather? So before I get to cruise story number 3, I would ask that you please like this video and consider subscribing, as it does help the channel grow. If you could do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much. So cruise story number 3, are cruise prices ever going to come down? Well, right now, there could be a major shift happening in the travel industry based off of recessionary fears. So if you look at all the cruise lines, they're down anywhere from about 19 to 26%. But it doesn't end there. You got the airlines. They're down about 21%, each one of them. And the major hotel chains are down 13 to 15%. So it's just not the cruise industry. But what's happening on Wall Street, does that equal what's going to happen in Main Street? Are we going to see it in these cruise prices? So a couple examples here. I was looking at the Celebrity Beyond early October. It's not too far out. And they had an Aqua Spa cabin. Now, if you're not familiar with Aqua Spa, you do get some extra perks, and they consider it their highest category of their balconies. And it was $2,200 and $150 shipboard credit. I had to go back through my notes because obviously I cruise with Celebrity, and I hadn't seen a price like that in 5 years. It's a really good price. I'm seeing prices like that in Alaska for Celebrity and Royal. Now, I obviously follow Royal, Celebrity, and Princess because those are the 3 brands that I like to cruise on. My Royal cruise that we have planned in Alaska, in 2 weeks, there's been over $730 in price drops. It's very interesting what's happening. Now, is this going to be a continued thing that we see? Or is this just a little blip in the radar? Be very interesting to see what happens in the next couple months. All of basically, let's say all of March and the rest of like April, and see where it is. Does the market go down another 5-10%? If it does, I think we're going to start seeing it more and more in the cruise prices. A little bit of slowing up. What do you guys think? Are you seeing any reduction in your prices? Or are they still sky high? Now, one other thing that I thought was interesting is obviously if you know anything about the Icon class, they're expensive. Balconies, $5,500 to $6,000. I love the Icon class. It is a gorgeous ship, but I'm not paying that for a balcony. I'm just not. That's not a good value for me. What's interesting is Star of the Seas coming out in a couple months, and a couple months after it comes out, I noticed a sailing that had over 50 suites still available, 150 balconies, and about 100 to 150 other cabins. That's a lot of cabins to have available when you're spending $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 on a cruise. That's typically something you plan out. That ain't a last minute just, hey, let's go on a cruise. Is this a trend? Or like I said, a little blip in the radar? Let me know what you guys think. And have you seen any of your cruise prices go down? So I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you again for the continued support. And until I talk to you soon, happy cruising.